up guys, what's up YouTube? My name is Matt Samolski. I'm Matt the Car Guy. On this channel I do car reviews, and today I'm at Gettle Hyundai of Lakewood, Florida, and I'm here with this 2022 Hyundai Tucson, all new, brand new, redesigned, brand new vehicle. Let's see if we can bring it up here. Where are you? It is a little shy, so let's give it some time. Let's see if he's gonna come out. Come on, don't be shy. You're good looking. There you go. Look at this. Isn't that pretty cool? 2022 Hyundai Tucson, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm even more excited because I'm gonna have both of them, 2021, 2022, parked right next to each other. And while this is not going to be a feature by feature comparison, you're going to see some basic differences between the outgoing 2021 and incoming 2022 model. So we're going to check out the exterior, interior. We're going to take a look and peek underneath the hood. And then finally, I'm going to take it for a spin. So if you're ready, let's go. Well guys, so let's start right up front. As I promised you, I have both of the vehicles right here. This one is a 2022, obviously we've seen that in the introduction, and this is an outgoing 2021 model. So as you can see, they're completely different, and while there was really nothing wrong with the 2021, it's been a while since Hyundai redesigned it. It has been one of the best-selling little sport utilities, compact sport utilities on the market. It competes, just to remind you, these compete against like Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, Mazda CX-5. So those are the main competitors. Well, obviously Kia, I think it's a Sportage that it's basically, it's symbolic, maybe the Seltos as well, but you know, that's basically the size, the compact SUV sector. It's very busy, it's very competitive. Hyundai definitely is not afraid of change, as you can see in this picture right here. The front end, the side and the back, we're going to take a look at all of them. They're completely different from the one generation to another. It also sits on the brand new platform that's longer, that's wider, and it's a little bit taller as well. So let's take a look first of all at this, because this is the new generation one. So let's take a look at the grille first. This grille is very different than any of the other Hyundais. It is shiny. It's kind of this gunmetal gray, shiny gray. Even the Hyundai logo is the same color as it, so it doesn't stick out. It's not chrome like on the other one. By the way, both of them are limited models. And it has lights. They're very interesting. They have lights that are incorporated into the grille. Hopefully, let's see, I'm going to start it so you're going to be able to see it, because it's going to actually light up when I'll start this vehicle. And see where those lights are going to light up is right here. Let's see if we can make them light up. There you go. See those lights right here? Okay, they're on. Now I use that feature where I used to get this car in. That way the lights are gonna go on, the blinkers are gonna go on, but at least you can see there's regular lights, daytime running lights basically, and then the regular lights are here, the high beams and the low beams. Okay, and then there's a turn signal in here. There's a little bit of an air curtain right in here, basically allows the air to go through and into this wheel well, whether it's for aerodynamics or a little bit more cooling, however you want to call it. That's basically the function of it. A little bit of this matte gray trim at the bottom of it, as well as the shiny glossy gunmetal right here. The hood, nothing really crazy. I mean, it does have a few body lines. You see a lot more of those sharp creases and the body lines on the rest of the vehicle, but you know, it looks pretty darn good. So take a look at this one. You've seen it on the road probably a million times. This is more sharp, more square, if you will. This is more polished and the old style maybe. Not that there's anything wrong with this, but you can take a look. Different lights, different grille, different hood. Everything is basically different. Now take a look at the side of this vehicle. But before we do that, let's go and check out what powers up this brand new 2022 Hyundai Tucson. Let me open it up for you. All right, so what powers up this 2022 Hyundai Tucson? Before we get to it, I gotta complain about something. Come on, this prop stick, it should be a hood strut, guys. I mean, it doesn't really cost that much. It makes life so much easier. But anyways, this is a 2.5 liter engine, 4-cylinder, 187 horsepower, 182 pound-feet of torque. It's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission, dual clutch transmission, so it's a little bit more powerful than the outgoing Hyundai's engine. So this is incoming and this is the outgoing. 2.4 liter engine, 181 horsepower, 175 pound-feet of torque, so it's a little bit less powerful, not a huge difference, but I'm going to be able to tell better once I drive it. But let's get back to the 2022 and check out the side profile. Well, so if you look at the side view, definitely different than the previous generation ones. Definitely lots of going on. They, from the smooth shape of the previous generation one, which some people like, some people didn't, now it comes a lot more curves, creases, and different body lines. Like this one right here, look at this, it goes from here, then it meets with the bottom one right here, kind of like the Elantra that I looked at recently. And then another body line, another creases start over in here, and then again there is another one at the bottom. So if you look at it, there's plenty of going on. Some people like it, some people don't. At first, to be honest with you, when I saw it on the picture, I go like, well, it's too futuristic, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it. But as I'm looking at it live and in front of me, I start digging it, I start liking it. Now, what also is going on, this is the limited model. I'm not sure if they have the option of this fender treatment being the same color of the car, but this one is that matte gray. The same thing continues all the way throughout the vehicle, all the way to the back. It's got a little bit of the reflector lights in here. As far as the mirror caps, they're the same color as the rest of the vehicle. It has a little bit of this polished aluminum right here, and it does have a turn signal on the mirror cap. As far as the wheels, this one is equipped with the 19-inch wheels, and this is the standard wheel on this vehicle, basically 235 by 55 by 19. That's the size of the wheels. It also has the smart keyless entry system, which means that you don't have to use the key to lock it and unlock it. All you have to do is basically either touch this little indentation inside of the door handle, on the door handle, and this will lock the car. If you stick your hand inside of it, it will unlock it. I don't know if the power folding mirrors are options, but if it is, it's not turned on in here. And it does have, this one does have a panoramic sunroof. It's really nice, and it does have those glossy black roof rails, as well as the glossy black pillars all around the car. So it kind of makes this whole thing into one. Now the rear windows are tinted, the front windows are not, but you know, that's the styling on the side of it. Before we get to the back, let's really quickly take a look at the 2021. All right, so really quickly, just to remind you of how the outgoing 2021 looks like, it does look a little bit smaller, to be honest with you, and it doesn't have as many creases and lines on it. It's smoother looking, if you will, if that's your type of thing. Now, this one also has this cladding around the wheels, just like the 2022, but this one sits standard on 18-inch wheels, and it looks like it's a little bit shorter in the back as well. So let's compare and see the backs of both of them together. Well, so which one do you like better? Put it in the comment section below, let me know. To me, this one looks bigger. This one definitely looks more modern, and this one definitely looks like more 2022 than this. Again, not that there's anything wrong with this, but you can see the differences yourself. The lights are different. Even the rear glass is different. The placement of the Hyundai logo is different. We're gonna go in detail on this one. I'm not gonna spend too much time on here, but I will want to open both of them up and see how much room there is in each of them, just kind of as a comparison between the two. So there's some stuff in here, but there's a decent size. We'll see. Check this out. This one opens up from underneath. See, that's another difference here too. Well, this 2022 sits much lower to the ground, at least what it feels like. Let's measure it right here. So if I go in here, yep, this one is about, the new one is about an inch lower, maybe a little bit more as far as the cargo loading ability for this vehicle. It also is longer in the back, so it does have more room behind the second row seat, and it looks like the gate is bigger. So let me close this up. Forget about the 2021, that's outgoing. Let's check out and see in detail how this one looks. Well, guys, so let's focus on this 2022, as it is a brand new model. So as you can see, the lights are completely different. Now, to me, they look, and maybe just to me, but they look a little bit like that Mustang Mach-E. Let me know what you think about it, whether you like them or not. And they're fully LED. Now, there's a light that goes all the way across, and these are brake lights, reverse lights. Let me actually jump inside, because I've never been behind one. They literally just started hitting dealers a lot. I'm not sure if they've installed any, because that's how new this vehicle is. Let me jump inside, and I'll turn these lights on, see if you can see whether all of this turns on or not. Before I do that, really quick, let's finish this up and we'll do it. The turn signals right at the bottom here. Yeah, I don't know if I like the placement of it, because everybody's going to be looking right here to see for indication if the vehicle is going to be turning on or not. Then there's a little bit of a reflector light, nice kind of the gunmetal polished aluminum at the bottom. It looks kind of like the diffuser. You don't see any exhaust underneath it, so the exhaust is hidden. And now you kind of see this diamond trim right here on this matte black. The matte black continues the cladding from all around the vehicle, and then this beautiful white color. It does say Tucson right here. Both of these models are front wheel drive, by the way. They're not all wheel drive. But what else is different? Of course, the glass is different. The placement of the Hyundai logo is no longer on the gate, as a little trim piece that's inside of the window. It's not on the window though. And then you have the LED brake light right on top of here, as well as the window wiper. The rear window wiper is hidden underneath this rear tailgate spoiler. So that, again, it's a very smart thing to do, to hide it from elements and hopefully, not exposing it. So you're not going to be changing those plates as often if they freeze or get dirty or whatever they do. Now, you do have a rear view camera, which is right here, again, nicely covered in here, so not exposed. Should be a nice clear view. We'll check that out in a little bit. Before I open it up, let me go inside of this vehicle and let's check out if these light up. All right, so these are the reverse lights and the brake lights. So this is how it looks. Okay, one very noticeable difference between this one and the 2021 was the height of the loading dock, basically, if you will. This is very important, because if you have something carry, this is about an inch lower, maybe a little bit more, so you don't have to go over this bump and throw it inside of it. It's also quite a bit longer as far as the roominess inside of this back seat. Does have a spare tire. This is a temporary spare tire, so not meant for off-road use, and basically just to get you going and get you to a dealership to change your tire. What else do we have here? Now you have your 12-volt outlet right here. This is how you fold your seats. Boom, fold it down, it opens up. Let's remove this cargo cover from here. Well, cargo cover is removed, by the way, which you can do, in case you didn't know that. You can actually easily remove it, and this is how much room you have behind the second row seat. That is pretty large for its class. No complaints there. Let's check out the rest of the interior. Well, I gotta tell you, there's really no shortage of room here. Plenty of headroom. I'm 6 feet tall. I have about 3 more inches above my head before I would hit this. I have plenty of room in front of my knees before I would hit this back seat, and the interior is really, really nicely finished. Why don't you come in and check it out yourself? Well, as a point of reference only, because we're not doing the review on 2021, but this one is pretty roomy as well. It does have plenty of legroom, headroom, shoulder room. It's just different. The one thing that I think they improved is the way that you get in. You don't have to kind of climb over this big bulge right inside of here, so it's easier to get in and out for the 2022 model. All right, so as far as the interior of this 2022 Tucson, what I really like is the way that they actually trim those seats. Take a look at this, how many different patterns are in here. So the top one, this is basically a solid leather. This one is perforated, then has a little bit of trim of solid and perforated, and so on and so forth. Now it's a two-tone interior. It's basically black and light gray. And if you look at this trim, take a look at the door itself. Nice trim, a little bit of aluminum with the piano black in the middle. Now it does have a little bit of a different texture right underneath here. So this is more of a, this is a fabric. This is not a leather, not soft touch plastic. And this is what looks like, this is probably leather trim. It has a little bit of that piano black trim right here, and this one also has a rear heated seat, so that's where the control is for, as well as your window controls and your regular door handles. Now, where are the locks on here? I don't see the lock. Well, maybe it's up front only. Let's take a look. It does have the vent for the rear heating and air conditioning. It does have a two USB ports, not a USB-C, just the 2 regular USBs. And it doesn't have anything in the seats itself. It does have a little bit of this net, kind of rubbery net. Not sure what you're going to put in here, but I'm sure people find a way to put stuff in here. This one, of course, well, not of course, but the limited model, this one is equipped with the panoramic sunroof, so you can see how big the sunroof is. I want to check it out whilst I'm on the interior of it. One important thing, of course, to check out is to hear how the door sounds when it closes. And it sounds pretty darn good. So let's check out this door really quick, and let's check out the rest of it. Okay, same pattern as on the back door. 4 different basically trims in here. A little bit of the soft plastic. You have this piano black with aluminum trim, the fabric, the leather, I think, the leather, and then you have a little bit of, again, the regular plastic in here. Now this one is equipped with a Bose stereo, and this is much lower, in my opinion, than on the other one. It's kind of easier to get in and out. Of course, it does have the electronic controlled seats, so electric seat controls, and right on here what you have is basically your dimmer, your gate, and the traction control off. Before we get in, there is more storage to store some other junk in here, so for all of you people that like to store stuff in the car, you can put something in here. And look at this interior. We're gonna check it out now. Hey guys, so 2022 Tucson interior. First of all, the first thing that jumps at you is this brand new steering wheel. It looks completely different than the other one. And well, I'll show you that just for a point of reference. We're not going to go feature by feature on the other one, but let's take a look. Completely different, but it feels so nice to the touch. It feels so good to the touch. It has nice leather wrapping on it. It does have a bunch of buttons on it. We're going to check it out what it is. And it also has the pedal shifters in the back. I'm going to turn this car on before I cook myself. It is really starting to get hot in here. So let's see what happens when I turn it on. There you go. It tells you that the fuel level is low, but it also shows you that there's two screens. One screen, the main infotainment screen right here, which we're gonna get to in just a minute. And then your instrument cluster, which is different to say the least. It's completely different. It's basically like somebody put an iPad in here and maybe forgot to put like a little bit of a roof over it. Here, one interesting thing about this car. Here, it tells you right here, low fuel. And it's asking me right now, should I search for a nearby gas station? So let's check it out. There you go. It tells you the gas stations. Look how cool it is. It tells you how much the gas is right now. For point of reference, guys, if you're going to be watching this video a couple years from now, this is what gas is in 2021. Thursday, April 4th, 2021. Gas here in Florida. This is what the price is. Let's go back to the instrument cluster because this is very different. Okay, I've seen a similar one, similar setup on the Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy, which we've seen. I want to see if it has my favorite feature. Turn signal. Wow, it does. Absolutely my favorite feature of the vehicle is that it has those blind spot cameras, and you know, it shows you what you don't see in the mirrors. Now, it tells me that I have 27 miles range, which is good. On the left-hand side, you have the speedometer. Right-hand side, you have a tachometer. Then you have 83 degrees outside, which is probably 95 in here. And the car, 12.2 miles per gallon, which is actually not true because the economy is 26 to 33 for 29 combined miles to a gallon on this brand new Hyundai. So, I mean, this car is obviously brand new. It's been idling for the most time, including the time that I'm in here. So the gas mileage reading is not accurate. But let's check out what the buttons do on the steering wheel. First of all, on the left-hand side on the steering wheel, you have the mode button, which basically doesn't really do anything. It just tells you, opens up this custom button. Okay, so you can set up a custom button, mode button, on the steering wheel, and the custom button on the steering wheel and custom button on the navigation. So this is all customizable. You can set it up to basically one of these options: voice memo, reroute, cancel, route quiet mode, or none. Okay, the right hand side of the steering wheel, we have some other buttons. We have pages, so I know this is going to do something in here, and of course it does. We've seen this before. It gives you the navigation, compass, tire pressure, lane keep assist, and it gives you drive info, so basically your trip, miles per gallon, etc, etc. It also gives you the ability to set your cruise control, the dynamic cruise control, and to basically adjust the distance between you and the car in front of you, and that also gives you the lane keeping assist option right here. Now, this is also brand new setup, completely different. Just for a point of reference, here's how the 2021 looked like. Well guys, so really quick, it's not going to be a feature and feature, but really quick. Instrument cluster, this is how it looks in 2021 Hyundai Limited. This is your tiny little infotainment system and basically a bunch of buttons for your controls. You have a regular gear shifter, drive modes as well. So this is the 2021. Now, to be honest with you, it feels quite a bit smaller and definitely not as modern as the 2022, which for some people might not be a bad thing. But let's go back to the 2022. Back to the future, back to 2022, which is in like 8 months or so, so the models are coming out already. But this is the brand new setup. Now the piano black trim around it, I'm not too crazy about it, but you know, as long as you're willing to carry a little microfiber cloth with you, should be okay. But it doesn't, surprisingly, I thought that because all of this is exposed, it's going to be hard to read, and it's not. Okay, what's probably going to be a little bit of a learning curve is that this is a touch screen only. Okay, let's see the reaction time on some of those icons in here. Let's put the map on. Okay, takes just a second, pretty quick. Navigation menu, yep, that's a pretty quick menu. So basically I have phone projection, voice memo, climate, valet mode, quiet mode, HD radio data, radio media setup. Let's go back. Wow, HD radio data, Doppler radar. Now this is incredible. It tells you now there's not a cloud in the sky right now, so it doesn't show any clouds in here, but this is interesting. I wonder if I can actually make it smaller or bigger. It just tells me in the area that I'm in, and that's probably what it does, but that's interesting. Fuel prices. Oh my goodness, this is so helpful sometimes. Look at this. I can save like a penny going to racetrack versus Circle K. Or if I want to be a big shot and want to spend more money, I can go to Marathon and spend like 6 cents more. Amazing. Okay, so different brands, fuel prices. Wow, this is pretty cool. Traffic. Let's see what else is going on. We don't have anything set up right now, but you can set the traffic up in here. Media. So it does have a Bose stereo in here. The other one had the Infinity stereo. This one has Bose. Let's check it out. The Sounds of Nature, because this is not copyrighted, so I can see. Okay, let's see if it has everything, and say the open air cafe should give us enough surround sound. If I wanted to get the volume up, and volume. Okay, so the radio is pretty nice from what I can tell. And turn the volume down. We can actually turn off this and go back to the home screen to just kind of see what other interesting features are in here. You have the quiet mode. Quiet mode basically turns off the rear speakers and just plays the music from the front speakers, and they adjust it to maximum of volume level 7, so if you have kids sleeping in the back, you're not going to wake them up. Back to here, valet mode. Subscription required. Okay, so we're going to close that. Sounds of Nature Blue Link. Your user's manual is in digital form. It's right here, so if you are trying to figure out how to work something, you don't have to leave the car, you don't have to go through like a million pages. You can actually go to user manual, and then you can scan the QR code and open it up on your phone. This is pretty much it. This is the infotainment system in a nutshell. Now, there's no physical buttons anywhere here, which, you know, for some people might be a little bit of a deterrent. I get it. I know the volume knob. I mean, I'm kind of a knob snob, if you will. I like to have my volume control where you actually twist it, and instead of you know, doing one of these, although this one seems pretty touch sensitive. So this one has shortcuts. You can turn this system off. Volume, map, navigation, custom button again, seek track for your radio, media, and setup. And then at the bottom here, you have your electronic climate control. So basically you have your temperature settings, fan settings, diffuse. Okay, so that's basically gonna diffuse the air through all of the vents, which the vents are nicely located, by the way. You like that segue, huh? Right here, all the way, and it kind of connects with the trim on the door, which, as far as the design of this car, is very nice. So let's take a look at the top in here. So what do we have here? Here, a little bit of a soft plastic. Now those vents, actually they're on the right here, and yeah, it blows through here, so actually it diffuses nicely. It's a little bit of that fabric here, and this soft plastic and the color of the leather inside of it nicely wrapping around, that really thought well on the design of this car. Really like it. I dig it. Not sure about this infotainment system. I know it will grow on me because just like anything else. At the bottom here, you have your regular charger, you have your USB charger and the USB connector for your data as well. And this is where your wireless charging for your phone is. Now, the seats are heated and cooled on this particular one. You have a heated steering wheel, hill descent. You have your parking sensors on, camera, which we're going to check out next. Now you have different drive modes. We'll see what that is. And this is your basically shifter. That's where you shift your gears right here. Lots of piano black. See my fingerprints? They're already all over the thing. I mean, they look super sharp, but you know, it leaves your fingerprint all over the place. Parking brake, auto hold feature for your parking, for your brake basically. And then you have your cup holders in here and a little bit of storage. So let's go back and start with here. This is the camera, okay? So this is your actually parking assist. I'm sorry, that's not your camera, that's your parking assist. But it turns on your camera basically, and it shows you where we at. And you know, it does have those trajectory lines. And if you've seen any of my previous videos, like on the Santa Fe, I really like the trajectory line in the front. I can't tell you how many people damage their cars because they don't see where the front of the car is going to go when they're backing up. Okay, so different settings for the camera. Okay, so you have the side camera, it's a 360. Amazing, absolutely amazing as far as the camera quality wise. Now this one has the film on top of the screen too, and it still looks sharper than some of the high-end cars that I've reviewed. So camera is awesome, camera is great. I give it a 10 out of 10 probably. And you know, those trajectory lines, that's just the extra added bonus. Now if we hit the press button to display the camera, press and hold to activate, one of the things that it also turns on is this sensors in here. So the tachometer disappears and basically it turns on a little picture of the car, so you can see that basically you have the sensors in front and back, and if there was any obstacles, it would show up. Let's take a look and check out the different driving modes, because you can change those as well. And let's see what happens when you change the driving modes. So drive modes, okay, we have smart, sport, nice, fiery, red, normal, okay, who's normal, smart, and smart. 3 drive modes. That's enough, I think. Okay, we're gonna check it out in the smart mode and the sport mode basically. And I think the smart is kind of gonna combine the fuel economy and the performance of this vehicle. So this is basically it. Let's take a quick look, panoramic view of this interior of this 2022 Tucson. Oh, one thing I didn't notice, it does have memory seats right on there, 2 memory seat settings. And we're gonna take it for a spin. But before I do that, of course, panoramic sunroof. Nice, large sunroof. Opens up. Nice windscreen. Does it go any further? It does not, but it goes just about the same size as all the other moonroofs, but it gives you a lot more light once this is open. I can close the curtain right here. Let's take it for a spin. Well guys, I'm about to take this vehicle for a ride. We're gonna take it for a spin together and see how it drives. But before we do that, let's check quick few facts on it. Now, this particular one, as we sit in, is a 2022 Hyundai Tucson Limited. I gotta show you one thing, because you've seen me playing with this key when I summoned the vehicle at the very beginning of this video. So let's check this key out. This is the new Hyundai key, and those 2 buttons are basically for moving it out or in of the parking lot. That's basically what these are for. And then of course you have your lock unlock gate, you do have your panic button, and then you have your remote start. So a lot of functions that go in the button. Now if you do have a BlueLink with Hyundai, you can do the remote start through BlueLink as well. There's a subscription required. I'm not sure what that is, but it was fairly reasonable as far as the prices. So this one, as we sit in, it's a front-wheel drive version, top of the line, basically fully equipped. $36,594 is the MSRP. Okay, so that's just the MSRP before, you know, if there's any other extra options that would be added to it. $34,700 starting MSRP. Now it does have the cargo cover, Quartz white paint, which is $350 for this beautiful paint, and the carpeted floor mat, which is $169. So those are the only three options that are on this particular vehicle. Now I'm going to take it for a spin, but before, again, we do that, let's talk about pricing. Now, at the time of this filming, Hyundai still hasn't really updated their website. It still says reserve yours. So the dealers got it before you. I can actually get a lot more information. 9 Tucson models and trim. Now, not all of them might be available. So the SE starts at $24,950, SEL $26,500. Hybrid blue at $29,050. That would be a nice one to check out because it adds a little bit more horsepower to it. N-Line at $30,600. SEL convenience $31,650. Now you have the limited, which is this one right here, $34,700, and then you have a hybrid limited, which, you know, is going to be $37,350 as the MSRP. So basically very much in line. I couldn't believe, but Honda CR-Vs are in the upper 30s, top of the lines. Toyota RAV4s, I think they already went over that threshold of 30 and they end into the low 40s. So the SUVs went up quite a bit as far as the pricing. Without further ado, let's check out a couple things and let's move it out of here because I don't have too much gas. 24 miles remaining. Love that camera. Actually, I'm not sure if it does have this cross traffic alert. I'm sure it does, although there's nothing behind us, so I can't check it out, but I will check out the turning radius. Let's just find a few painted lines as far as the parking lot and we'll see of how well it turns. I'm in the dealer's parking lot again. Gettle Hyundai of Lakewood, great guys, check them out. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm not even gonna make it all the way, but it tells me, so it's going to be 4.5 basically, because I'm about to hit the curb and I'm not going to do that on a brand new car. But we have, so basically 4 parking spots. Let's do a quick 360 right here in the middle of the lot so I can actually get the feel of it and tell you whether it's better or worse than the other ones. So let's check it out. Okay, nice 360. It might be just a tad larger turning radius because the vehicle's gotten bigger than the previous generation one, but not bad at all. It feels very solid. I like the way that it handles. Very quiet. I haven't accelerated that, but very quiet as far as the engine or the road noise for that matter. It looks like they used some serious sound dampening materials inside of it. Now I'm in sports mode, so I'm going to be able to check that out and see how this vehicle accelerates. And I really haven't tested many of the compact SUVs in a while, but I'm going to be able to check it and see if it's faster or slower or anything like that. All right, now we're cooking with fire. We're moving. Check it out. All right, I'm gonna just basically stop here because there's nobody coming behind me, but I want to check out the acceleration from the stop. And let's hit it. I can hear the engine. Okay, it's not the most powerful engine out there. It is a naturally aspirated engine, so it's not a turbo engine. but it does have enough juice to get it going. Maybe a few more horsepower will make a difference. I think that maybe 220 versus 187 would be the sweet spot, and hopefully the hybrid. I heard that the hybrid is getting that, and I heard that the N is actually getting over 300 horsepower. I didn't see the N on the listing of available models, so I don't think it's even coming. But it drives nice. It's solid. It's definitely in line with its competition. The having more horsepower would be maybe my preference, but I don't think that anybody would take this car or buy this car for clearly just the performance aspect on it, and merely just basically because it is a family SUV rather than a sports and performance one. But I gotta tell you, it is very nice as far as the drive. Handles great, steering wheel feels very nice and soft. It's very responsive. The infotainment system is very visible. I was a little bit afraid that I couldn't see the instrument cluster because of it being exposed. Basically, it's not covered with any surrounding trim, dash, or anything like this, but you can see it just fine. You can read it just fine. It's gonna take a little bit of getting used to, but not bad at all. Guys, I will give this vehicle a big thumbs up. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Gettle Hyundai of Lakewood. The guys were nice enough. They're right in my hometown. They were nice enough to allow me to film this vehicle, and I'm really grateful for it. If you like watching videos like this, please check out the rest of my channel. Consider subscribing if you like it, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers.